One of the biggest video game franchises of all time might just be gearing up to travel to parts unknown. Now, what does that all mean? Well, let's break that all down, up next. What's going on, guys? It's Kalo, and I'm here to give you the lowdown on all things gaming. And if you're new here, feel free to subscribe to this channel for weekly video game news content. Drop a like on the video, and welcome to the Level Up. So, Final Fantasy is a franchise that has hung around the gaming headlines over the past year or so, and it's been a pretty rocky road for Sqaure Enix, and that's to say the least. Over the past few months, their exclusivity deal with PlayStation has really begun to show cracks in the armor, and the series, number-wise, is in a little bit of a decline. I honestly feel as if this deal is one-sided, and this is a deal that heavily favored PlayStation, and that's for multiple reasons. Now, what I mean by all that, this pretty much offered up Final Fantasy on one platform and one platform only. In my opinion, I think Final Fantasy is just too big of a franchise, much like Call of Duty, just to kind of be walled off to one console. I also think, just in a monetary sense, you're leaving a lot of money on the table, and you're just leaving a bunch of untapped markets out to dry, and I just think that would be foolish not to explore those waters. But through this deal, PlayStation was able to nail down 3 big entries in the series, being 7 Remake, Rebirth, and 16. Now, Rebirth eventually did end up going to the PC after a little bit of time, but the other 2 are exclusively on the PS5. You might as well take your shot here because I'm about to say it. Games are very expensive to make. You might as well have your hands in all the cookie jars across the board. And sure, Sqaure Enix most likely got a big bag of money in the short term, but when talking about video games and developer longevity, the long term needs to be priority number 1. But recently, Sqaure Enix's CEO has changed course with exclusives, and I guess over time we're gonna see if other games make it to other platforms. And that brings me to today. Recently, a Final Fantasy voice actor has been a little bit cheeky, and they did tease a little bit of an announcement that could be made at Gamescom in a few days' time. Quote, "Excited for Gamescom this year, for absolutely no reason." Now, I don't want to read into things too much, that's just not my thing. Granted, other cases, I've done this before, but those eyeballs at the end of that tweet, it did send me. Now, I want to back this all up. Recently, Final Fantasy 16 was spotted on a game-ready driver profile on this NVIDIA update. So based off that alone, it looks like, at least on the back end, something's being prepared. Now, at the very least, I could be led to believe that we are getting Final Fantasy 16 on the PC, which would make a ton of sense. But does that open the door for an Xbox port as well? Over the past year or so, Xbox and Sqaure Enix took their relationship to public status and revealed that they would be working together at some point to bring more Sqaure Enix games to their platforms. Now, to bring some backing to this, all I look to is an interview with the game's producer, where he dropped this little nugget. Quote, "It's not over in the sense that we have the PC version. Once the PC version is released, we're thinking about hopefully moving to other platforms as well. However, that's not really talking about the story. It's more about moving on to different platforms." So that right there kind of makes me think this isn't just another rumor, but who knows? I honestly think we've reached this boiling point where something's bound to happen at Gamescom, whether that's an announcement for the PC stuff, maybe even Xbox. I don't know. Gamescom just kind of feels like the place it's gonna happen. But with all that being said, I'm gonna pass it off to you guys. What do you think about all this? Does the announcement happen at Gamescom? But that about does it here. I've been Kalo. I gave you the lowdown on all things gaming. And if you're new here, feel free to subscribe to this channel for weekly video game news content. Drop a like on the video, and this has been the Level Up.